Hey guys, so just heads up before we get into this video. I actually had an issue with my microphone. One of the systems that I use normally to suppress some of the extra noises that come through was not working. So you can hear me pretty aggressively, mouth breathing and whatnot. So I got sinus stuff going on. I've had it for a long time, and unfortunately it causes me to breathe kind of heavily out of my mouth sometimes. So you can hear that throughout this video, so I'll try and negate it as much as possible, but just a heads up. Thanks guys. All right, so what do we got in here? So the first vehicle we're going to be looking at. There it is. Yeah, S2000. All right. So first impressions. Yeah, this is pretty much just an S2K. We can modify the vehicles here, but I'm not going to because I like to drive them unmodded just to kind of get a feel for them first, and because I want to give Connor the opportunity to hop in. You can put the roof down, which is awesome.
There you are.
Very cool. I'm glad that you can. Oh, the vehicles can be stanced via the interaction menu? Interesting. Vehicle stance lowered? Default lowered. What? Okay. Interesting. Alright, well, that didn't change anything. But, S2K, you can put the roof down, which is very, very cool. I'm glad that they definitely made this a true convertible and didn't keep it with like that weird rag top. One thing I would like to see if maybe you can put the targa top on it or whatever it's called, the fastback. So we'll see. As for the stock, it's fun as shit to drive so far. It's not super fast, but I mean, you would kind of expect that from a base model car in GTA at least. But it is fun to drive. I mean, it handles really well. I like it so far. Everything in GTA is pretty expensive, so I can't really confidently say if it's worth, I think, what was it, like 1.8, 1.9 million or something like that. But I mean, it seems like most of the cars that are releasing hover right around that 1.2 to 2 point some odd million. So that would put this car kind of right in the middle. So I mean, that seems pretty reasonable for me. So I guess it really depends on everything you can do to it at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah. I would say it's not worth in the fact that if you need a true, honest-to-God car, you know what I mean? But if you have the
Yeah.
money to splurge and...
Well, I mean, and GTA in general is just kind of all about opulence and doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
So let's go through and just upgrade it. And usually during this time, I mute the audio, play some music, and speed it up. So don't worry about anything but what you're seeing. forgot to change the color of the or the tint or the neon. That's all right. All right, that about does it. Now I think if you go into the vehicles, here is where you can change. Yeah. You can set it to sit lower on the suspension. So did you see what happened?
Hold on, it's not let me. All right, I'm looking.
So you can go into the interaction menu, and you can change the vehicle stance. So I have the highest suspension on this, and so I
Yeah.
can go in there and I can hit lowered, and when I select that, the car
Oh,
slams
that's
down.
sick.
Yeah. So if you're
Can
like,
you
I want my car to look like that, but I don't want it to look
can
like
you
that all the
canter?
time. It says that
They
you
are
can camber
slightly.
it.
They're slightly. Or
It
am I just
says
seeing
you
things?
can, but it
Look at
just
get a close view of your tires. They are slightly cantered.
yeah, they're cambered, but it doesn't look like you can like control the camber. It looks like it's just kind of, do you want it stanced or do you want it not?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's still more than they've given you before. So, this is fucking sick. So far this update is great, and I'm only on the first car. All right, where do you want me to take you to? I'll test drive the car while I take you there.
The big main office, the big tall building.
All
I
right.
have my car.
All right. So our next vehicle, let's take out the Celica. So this is going to be the Karen Calico. Let's take it for a ride around the block. Oh, right off the bat, this thing is very obviously all-wheel drive. Now I wonder, because I didn't hit... Oh, yeah. Okay. So you can do it with any car. You can change it to stance. Even if it doesn't have upgraded suspension.
Really?
So this car is bone stock, and I just switched it to lowered. Interesting. Okay. That's cool. I dig it. Alright, back to test driving this thing. So, right off the bat, this is very obviously an all-wheel drive car, which is true. Which is true to the original Celica. This model of the Celica was used in rally racing to a degree. So that is... actually, it might be front-wheel drive now that I think about it. No, it's all-wheel. Okay. But yeah, this Celica was used in rally racing. A lot of people are familiar with the Castrol GTS, I believe, Celica, which I'm sure... now that I say I'm sure, they're probably going to make me a liar, but I'm sure there's probably a livery of this vehicle, the Castrol GTS Celica. If that's the case, I will almost definitely be emulating that because that is like one of my favorite rally cars for no reason whatsoever. I just have always really liked it. All in all, this car handles a bit more bearish, but that's just because it's all-wheel drive. It tends to understeer quite a bit, but that's just kind of to be expected with an all-wheel drive car. That's not necessarily a GTA thing. That's just kind of real life. That's just kind of how all-wheel drive cars work. So let's modify it. Let's see what we can do to it. Alright, boys and girls, I don't know about you guys, but this car is something special. This is a fantastically good looking car. Is this stanced? Oh, it's not. Oh my god. Holy moly, is this good looking.
I see you.
Why am I dropping
Hang on,
frames?
you.
Alright, let's take it around the block. See how good it is. It's fast as shit. So fast, I'm like literally, the game can't even keep up and I'm dropping frames. Why am I dropping
Yeah,
frames so bad?
you're leaving me in the dust. Yeah, your acceleration's insane.
My game is like lagging. I can't figure out why.
Oh.
Oh well. Car's fucking sick. Doesn't turn very well, which is expected because it's, like I said, all-wheel drive. But in a straight line, this thing is fucking stellar. Not a very good driver right now, but hey, this thing's fucking sick. Buy one. So far, I would buy this one over the S2K, the one I just did, for sure. But this thing is, ooh, it looks fantastic. It's fast as shit. All in all, very cool. Big fan. Big moves. Big fan. Alright. Time to try another one. Next car. Alright, guys, so there is this absolute fucking testament to God's. I don't even know what to call this. This car's ridiculous. But you gotta love it. I forgot to take this thing for a drive before we modded it. But hey, this is. This is how it drives modded out. It's going to be a front-wheel drive car. It's based off of, like I said, I believe a Honda Prelude. This is the one that has all of the Shakaton exhausts that you can make it all whatever. It actually handles surprisingly well. I was expecting this one to be a little bit more floaty, just because it's kind of the bigger car. It does understeer just a tad because it is front-wheel drive. Not nearly as bad as the Celica. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty controllable. It's pretty fun. It's not nearly as goofy as I was expecting with the big old Shakaton exhausts and whatnot. But yeah, it's surprisingly fun to drive. Looks ridiculous, but oh, it's actually rear-wheel drive, I think. Yeah, it's rear-wheel drive. Okay. Well, I was completely wrong on that. So it is a rear-wheel drive car, not a front-wheel drive car. But yeah, it does have a little bit of understeer, not oversteer like I was expecting. I'm sure that can be taken care of if you decide to put the low traction tires on it. But we will be looking into that a little bit later once we finish upgrading the rest of the vehicles. So here is the, what is this? The Anus Remus. Anus Remus. All tricked out as a weird weeaboo's car. Well, same deal. I completely forgot again to drive this without upgrading it, so I apologize for that yet again. But I really, I gotta be honest. I really fucking like how these cars are turning out. Just in general, you can do a lot of really cool stuff with these cars, and I'm just very, very impressed. Even the fog lights on this work, which is awesome. That is so cool. Like these, they added fog lights, and the fog lights actually work, which is that's just a great addition to the game, honestly. There's definitely some things that need to be fixed, you know, still with the wide body and whatnot. This one has that wide body issue as well, where it has a wide body, but the wheels don't go out to meet the wide body. Um, but I mean, just the level of upgrade you can do for the car is phenomenal. Um, this car is fun as hell to drive already. I know the Futo originally is a really fun car to drive, with a little bit of oversteer and all that. It's a drift car, and people use it for drifting all the time. I'm sure if you put the low, the low traction tires on it and all that, it'll be a blast to drive. But this thing is no exception. I do really, just really enjoy it. I'm so far I know I've said it about 1,000 times, but I'm very blown away with this update. So 10 out of 10 so far. I'm enjoying it very much. So with how long these modifications are honestly taking, we'll probably make a second video for the all the other bits and pieces. So keep an eye out for that one as well. Alright, moving on to our next cars here. These are our, I believe, final 2 cars from San Andreas Super Autos until we move on to the 4 over there. So these are going to be the Warrener Ute. So this one is going to be based off of, I believe, an R31 Skyline. But it's got a truck bed. So hopefully we've got some cool shit we can do to this one. So let's check it out. Alright, so as is being customary now, I did not drive this before upgraded it. But in general, I tried to go for a little bit of a more just relaxed, kind of cute little, mint colored with the rose petals and all that. But I do want to see how low this thing goes when you stance it. Ooh, okay. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for it to get real low and tuck those back wheels, which it looks like it does for sure. So let's take this thing around the bend, see how it handles. Ooh, lots and lots of grip in the rear end, which you would expect from a Ute like this, not having much weight over the rear wheels. But it does oversteer a tad bit. It's very squirrely, very squirrely. Not super fast, but it doesn't really seem like this car is made to be, like the new fastest race car in the game. But all in all, I like it. My point of view, really, with a lot of cars in this game is how cool does it look parking, And I think this thing definitely has a lot of the cool factor. It's a very, very cool looking car. You can go all out and you can make it like the big racer truck and shit like that. And you can put some big roll cages on the back and whatnot. So I might experiment with that a little bit later. Maybe change up the whole design on it and see if you can make it a racer and see if you can make it like an off-road truck and shit like that. But that might be something we do some other time. But all in all, I really like this one. Definitely another cool car. Not my favorite. But the customization options are definitely pretty darn good. So let's jump into another one. What do you say? Next one we're hopping into is not going to be a tuner car. It is the Vapid Dominator GTT. So this one I'm actually going to make sure to drive. I expect this one to have a lot of wheel spin and be hard to control.
Wheel spin or like skill skin?
Well,
am I right?
Yeah. For sure. Definitely. I crashed into that car because I can't drive, not because of the car.
Be honest.
It actually has way less torque than I was expecting. I'm sure that can be changed by upgrading the car. So I don't imagine there's going to be too many crazy tuner things you're going to be able to do to an old Mustang. But let's fucking find out. Alright, so this car actually turns out pretty well as an old beater bomb. I fuck with it. Someone who's better than me at old Ford motors, I'm pretty sure you can make this thing look like it has a coyote in it. I'm not totally well versed on it, but it looked like a coyote. And there's also another motor like top you can put on there. That's another, I assume, Ford motor I'm not familiar with. Um, Valve cover, kind of whatever you want to call it there. But this thing's a muscle car, so it should be able to do wheelies. So let's see. Yep, sure can. Hell yeah. So let's take this thing around the block real quick, see how it runs. So when we drove it originally, it wasn't super fast, but it was pretty fast. It had a little bit of oversteer, but it wasn't crazy. The acceleration on it's pretty damn good, not gonna lie. It's pretty easy to control. Handling surprisingly good. It's got a little bit of oversteer or understeer once you get harder into the corners. But it's kind of to be expected again with GTA cars in general. They all oversteer quite a bit. Geez, understeer. I apologize. Not nearly as much torque steer as I was expecting, so that's good. It's actually surprisingly easy to control under heavy acceleration and all that. So I actually like this car a lot. I didn't have very high expectations for it, just given that it was a muscle car and a tuner update. But I actually really like how this car turned out. It looks pretty cool, and generally it's a pretty fun vehicle to drive. So I'll probably be taking it to the car meet depending on what the car meet is. So we'll find that out. So yeah, let's put this car back and let's check out the next vehicle. So this is what it looks like, I believe, normal. And then if you decide you want it to be a little lower, you hit that and it tucks the wheels a little bit better. Nothing super crazy like the other cars, but it definitely does tuck those wheels underneath those fenders and gives it a little bit more of a stance to look. The motor sits awfully low, so it looks like you're going to be scraping pretty aggressively on everything. But I don't know if that really matters in GTA. Yeah, it looks like it all just kind of clips through anyway. But definitely looks cool for sitting at the car meets and whatnot. I personally, for a vehicle like this, prefer that look. That's already pretty low, but totally up to you. I like that they gave you the option to decide. Alright, so this next vehicle is basically like the new iteration of Michael's vehicle. The tailgater from the whatever you want to call it. What's that called? Jeez, I'm blanking. It's Michael's vehicle from the story mode, basically. Like I was saying, this is Michael's car, basically upgraded. It is based off of, looks like a four-door Audi. I I'm not super familiar with the Audi lines, but I would say that this is probably like an A3, A4. Maybe in this tier it'd be S3, S4. Again, like I said, not super familiar with the Audi lines, so I'm just kind of going off of my prior knowledge of Audis. I'll probably look into it and maybe pop something up here to give you an idea of what it's actually based off of. So editor me, go ahead and pop that in there. But yeah, this is basically Michael's car. It's speedy. It's a fun little four-door. It'd probably be fun for driving your buddies around and stuff like that. This is one that was featured quite a bit in the trailer, so we do know that there is some pretty heavily modifiable stuff, at least to make it look pretty tunerish. So let's go ahead and take it back there. So this would kind of probably be a fun car to take on missions and whatnot, because it's always nice to have a four-door vehicle for heists and whatnot. So just depends on how it handles. And that about does it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Unfortunately, the video that I had planned for showing how the car show actually works, that data got corrupted. So I'm not going to be able to create that video I was talking about. I did get some videos of the first heist, so I may be uploading that later as well. But anyway, thanks for watching. As always, have a great rest of your day.